but we've never lived on one. So we decided we better try it out before we seriously considered buying one.
We called this vacation the Love It or Hate It cruise.
We booked a 40-foot Bally Cat Space sailing catamaran from Cruise Abaco in the Abaco Islands in the Bahamas for a 1-week trip. So stay tuned to the end of the series, where we'll join you again and let you know, did we love it?
Or did we hate it? Well, there you have it. That was our Love It or Hate It cruise.
Verdict? Thoughts?
I love it.
Well, cool. That's excellent. That's me too. 100% love it. Okay, so the decision was made. So what's next? Well, we checked out dozens of manufacturers, other than Bally. But we also went through hundreds of hours of YouTube videos, especially these guys. Huge shout out to the detailed video reviews of Nick and Teresa from sailing vessel Ruby Rose, by the way. Then, once we found out what we were pretty sure was our boat, we contacted the dealer and reserved a production slot. But we never buy anything sight unseen. So where do you go to look at lots of catamarans? Well, there's no place better in the USA than the Annapolis Boat Show. So we hopped on a plane and spent a weekend in Maryland. We are here at the U.S. Boat Show. Did I? No, I got it on top of my head. Take two. All right, so we're in Annapolis, Maryland at the U.S. Boat Show right now. We are sitting on the... Are we serious? At the U.S. Boat Show, sitting on the Isla 40. I'll let these people go by. Anyway, we've been here a couple of days, did a bunch of boats.
Yep, saw a bunch of boats, got on several boats, and yesterday getting on sailing LaVagabonde was the coolest thing ever. Like, you could just feel where they lived, and it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, so we got on sailing LaVagabonde yesterday, and we got on this boat yesterday. And then today we went and got on just about all of the other boats.
Yeah.
But we did Air BnB that we've been at the last few nights, and we've just been kind of out, checking out this show here, which is just massive. There's just so much going on out here. Mm-hmm. But main thing was to come and actually see the boat we think we're going to buy, and we may have just signed for it. So this is pretty much a committed deal at this point. It's looking like the Fountaine Pajot Isla 40 is the boat that we'll be putting into charter. We've had a really great time here because we got to meet Chad and Emily from Cruise Abaco, and we got to talk with them about how we're going to be putting that charter into place starting next year, and possibly July or August of next year. You excited about that? Yeah. Who else did we get to meet?
Riley and Elayna.
We got to meet Riley and Elayna. And I got to meet Brady and Blue. That was really, really cool, from Delos and now from Cruisers Academy. Yeah, so that's where we're at. That's what we're doing. And we're just sitting on this board. Keith from Sailing Tara said, sit on your boat until you get bored, before you buy it. And so we're sitting on this boat until we get bored. We're kind of annoying the Fountaine Pajot salespeople because they keep asking if they can help us and asking us who's like, but nope, we're going to sit here. And so right now we're on the front, and so you can see we're right here on the trampolines. Okay, so let's rewind a little bit and get you up to speed. First of all, shout out to Keith Whitaker from Zatara on his advice. Something felt off about the FP and the Isla that we never really put our fingers on, but sitting on the boat until we were bored no doubt played a part. We'll get into a lot more about that later on, but for now, you will see an Easter egg in this video that will be something of a premonition of what actually is up for us next. See if you can spot it. If so, call it out in the comments below. But for now, let's hop back a couple of days and take a look at our first adventure in Annapolis. This is the line to get into the Annapolis Boat Show. this is the Sailing LaVagabonde with a new logo for Vagabond Adventures. What do you think of that? Pretty cool stuff. Let's go see if we can get on her. In our last episode, you saw LaVagabonde from a pretty good distance away, over north of Hopetown. This was the clip where Elayna was up on the bow filming something. We've been watching these two since they first met, and we're barely just kids. We've watched them raise two amazing little boys. We've watched them through 3 boats, many oceans and continents, and hundreds of adventures. So this is a pretty big deal for us. Sorry for the self-indulgence over the next couple of minutes, but keep watching because after we see this boat, we get to meet them too. By the way, this is LaVagabonde 2. All right, so we're on Sailing LaVagabonde right now. What are you thinking?
Oh, I'm just amazed at, well, how do they live here?
Yeah, we're here in the forward port cabin, and so this is their bathroom on the guest side. And that was kind of more the VIP suite, and that's SLV. It's like their entire lives fit into this little closet and that closet over there. That's where they kept all their electronics, by the way. Remember when they were always charging stuff?
Yeah.
Looks like. And the dagger boards behind this right here. This was fun. But we were here to look at boats, and so we were also doing an assessment of Outremer, which we ruled out. Just a little too cramped for our style. Okay, at least driving LaVagabonde. So this is the group assembled to check out Sailing LaVagabonde. It's around the corner already. Just a couple of ordinary kids from Australia that met while traveling in the Med. They hopped on Riley's boat, and one day Elayna picked up a camera to send some videos back home. Decided to upload them, and because of their energy and their fun personalities, they quickly became the most popular sailing channel on YouTube. These are 2 of the most salt-of-the-earth people you'll ever meet. As a result of their success, Elayna frequently struggles from imposter syndrome, which sometimes leads to extreme depression and anxiety. So it was great to get the rare chance to see them in person. We then headed back to Fountaine Pajot to sign some papers and pop some bubbly. They were also having an owner's party that night, and since we were officially owners, we stuck around to check it out. Obviously, at this point in time, we did not know that our ownership status with FP would only be temporary. Okay, so this is where we stayed. This is our little Air BnB. It's just a room in a house. And we've been here 2 nights now. It's got a little desk. Closet has a coffee maker and a microwave, place to hang your clothes up. I have what's supposed to be a private bath right here, but other people in the house have been using it. And we enter and exit from the back door. They just sent us a little code that we use to get in and out. And we walk around through this wrought iron gate. Our bedroom's right up there. On the street. And that's the house. And this is the street. Right up there is the circle, government buildings. So what do you think?
I think it's a beautiful neighborhood. Beautiful little city.
Yeah. Annapolis is pretty. Boat show's down there, so we're going to start walking that direction now. So this little alley is kind of our shortcut. Hide alley, aka sketchy alley. When we come through here in the dark, it just takes us over to Main Street. Makes it easier to get to the boat show. Anyway, walking to the boat show. A lot of people out on this Sunday morning. Heading back into the Annapolis boat show here, getting ready to go get in line to get back in. This is day 3 for us, but day 1 was only a couple hours, so that didn't really count. Anyway, getting ready to get up to the security entrance. Our mission today was pretty simple. Check out as many boats as possible. A lot less people here today. So this is the Leopard 42 right here.
February 25th.
So the helm station of the Leopard 42, I like the way that they've got the line separated from the helm. That way, as opposed to the Fountaine Pajot, you don't have your stuff falling everywhere. The spaghetti bag is definitely separated. Good view. But you can't see that corner very good because of that upper dock, or deck, rather. The guest hull on the 42. Not a super big fan of the layout. The bathroom does not exactly have a separated shower. It's better than just having it come out of the sink, I guess. And this is the VIP cabin. Oh, it's got its own bathroom as well. Okay, so both have private en-suites. Okay, well, that's actually kind of cool. Bed.
Rails on this side. They had really good rails on the other one.
No rails on.
Excuse me. Hi.
Hi. No rails on the stairs. Probably an option. This is the Seawind 1260 right here. It's kind of a Ruby Rose is building one similar to this. And a similar model that Billy and Sierra are building off of Tula's Endless Summer. All the lines lead back to the cockpit. Look at the size of these windows up front. It's insane. Definitely get some breeze on this one. Unique things about the Seawind, especially the 1260, is that this window goes up and down. So when you're inside, there's an electric window.
Is this your boat? Yeah.
Kitchen's down here.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, galley down design. So that you free up the space from up top.
Yeah.
Quarters here.
You can't be napping on the trampoline.
There's a sink. Okay, so this is neither a boat tour video, nor is it a boat review video. So to keep it from boring you to death, we'll just go ahead and fast forward a little bit through some of this. But basically what we're doing here is looking for safety features and comfort features like handrails, or things like ventilation, layout. Construction was a big thing too, since some of the boats looked super thin, while others were very thick and sturdy. We were looking for things like flush-mounted hatches, helm stations that look like you might not just fall overboard if you were taking swell on the beam. Things like that. We looked at many boats on this day, and we'll just give you a kind of quick little peek into that. This is the cockpit of the Isla 40, the helm station. This is a little safety clamp. This is where things were starting to fall apart for me a bit. This is just one of many things, but that little strap is all that keeps you from falling into the ocean. You can clamp over there. The Garmin equipment. Garmin being another thing. Not exactly my favorite. Here, all your lines running back, having a seat at the helm. And here's a big one. You see all these lines? You see the steering wheel? You see the throttles? You see a problem? Because I see a problem here. This is about what you'd see. Sorry. Another thing to look at here is the fiberglass and its thickness. Here's a quick flashback from a few minutes ago, just as a side-by-side comparison reference to both the layout and the thickness of the fiberglass. Got a nice little set of steps to get up onto the hardtop. Here's Lisa. Say hi, Lisa.
Oh, hi. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, sitting here, got a pretty good way to view the sails from here. And a cloth bimini versus a hardtop was another issue I had. Alright, and I might sound like a broken record here, but just to be super clear, this is not a boat tour video, and it's definitely not a boat review video. So just to keep things moving and not bore you to death, we're going to fast forward a bit through some parts, and we're going to completely cut out others, which is a little painful. Now, you've seen clips from a few different boats, and that's on purpose. We kept those in because they're actually important to the overall story we're telling here. That includes this tour. So here's the deal. We went all in on this boat. We filmed a full tour. We put down a really decent deposit on a production slot because we really thought this was going to be the one. And we filmed that tour to share with you because it was a big part of our journey. And so honestly, I'd feel bad about not including at least some of that video here. It's part of our story, and we promise to bring you along for every step of this process. Even the decision to walk away, which ties into something that I call the sunk cost fallacy, which I'll explain more about here in a bit. That was a big moment for us. But yeah, in the end, we didn't buy this boat. I just don't feel it was the right fit for Lisa or I. And don't get me wrong, Fountaine Pajot cats are beautiful boats. We've got friends who own this exact model, and they love it. By the way, quick shout out. Check out Tom and Kirsten's boat, the Dallas Ray. It's available for charter with Cruise Abaco. Beautiful boat. Gotta consider it when you're going out there. But consider Serenity first. If she's not available or something, check out Dallas Ray. She'd be a great second option for you. But for us, there were just a few things that didn't quite work for us.
I love all the handrails.
Yeah.
So many handrails.
That is something that we found a few cats do not have.
Yeah, I love the handrails.
So I was thinking about all the new stuff we talked about.
Stop me if you've heard this one. We walked off the boat, had a ton of things to talk about from the weekend, but neither of our mics were turned on. Dead air. Noob mistake. Literally not 1 decibel of audio to be found. So we ended up recording a half of an hour of amazing dialogue with no dialogue. Still, it was a beautiful walk in an absolutely gorgeous city. But basically, the premise of our conversation was this: the sunk cost fallacy, which is a cognitive bias where individuals continue investing in a project or endeavor, even if it's no longer beneficial, simply because they've already invested time, money, or effort into it. This fallacy leads to poor decision-making by prioritizing past investments over future outcomes. Another, more simple way to put that is throwing good money after bad, hoping it will work out. Hope is never a good way to move forward. Hope is never a good business strategy. Hope is never the solution to a problem. And sometimes starting from scratch is the best thing you can do. You get the benefit of experience that you gained from before. By this point in our story, the parts that you haven't seen were that we had already compromised on the boat model, compromised on the rigging, options for the boat, compromised on delivery dates, compromised on the price, and so much more. They do say that a cruising boat, as defined by Webster's dictionary, is a floating compromise. But this was the most expensive thing we have ever purchased. I didn't feel like we should have to compromise. So we walked away from the boat show, walked away from the deal, and went home feeling like we'd suffered a massive setback to our 5-year plan. But after we got home from the show and started going over this very footage, we remembered a few things that we had forgotten in all the chaos of that event. So join us next time as we return to Annapolis 1 year later, this time with a plan that we did not have to compromise on, a plan that we did not have funny moving numbers or shifting dates, and a trip that would bring us into contact with a few of our favorite humans. And hey, if you made it this far into the videos, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.